Good afternoon. So my project is Self-Sustainable Co-living Community Habitat of Sri Lanka. The tea industry, established in Ceylon with a history of 148 years, continues to occupy a pivotal position in foreign exchange earnings by generating 65% of the agriculture export revenue.
I'm sorry, Ironi, can you be a bit louder? Thank you. Just carry on.
Yeah. 2 million direct, indirect, upcountry Tamil workers. Though the demand keeps increasing, an obvious decline in production of Ceylon tea, therefore exports, is very evident from the statistics. The primary reason for this downturn is identified by socio-economic experts as mass immigration into upcountry estate Tamil workforce into urban areas in search of better pay, better standards of living than what is currently provided. Many lack basic facilities such as housing, education, finances, health, etc. And no significant improvement has been seen over the years. Another very obvious motive for such a mass immigration into cities is to avoid being marginalized from the mainstream society due to very poor socio-economic status of estate tenants in the totem pole. Due to these reasons, people remaining in the community to feel abandoned, isolated, and forgotten. This is an important social issue that ultimately affects the productivity of those working in the estates. The project is an architectural intervention for socio-economic upliftment of upcountry estate Tamils. The proposed project aims to introduce a secondary industry to the existing tea industry, and that is the component of tourism. This industry is not an alien concept and is already gaining popularity. This will result in a mixed income community, thus helping the community to dispel the label of estate Tamils and providing other means of improving their economic position. The primary goal through this design is to create a series of sustainable buildings to act as much needed value addition to upcountry Tamil neighborhoods, a well-deserved and long overdue socially contextually generated reward for their efforts. The site is located in Ohia within the Badula district in Sri Lanka. Ohia lies between Nuwara Eliya, Haputale, and Alla, which are popular tourist destinations. The site is located in between Nuwara Eliya and Haputale and is close to Ohia railway station, which contains many tourist destinations around the area. The site consists of an abandoned tea factory and existing line houses. The project will be implemented and funded by Lankan Ceylon PLC and Ministry of Plantations. Their primary objective would be to uphold the standards required to maintain the project. However, all components will be implemented and maintained by the community. The concept of a rural biotope is implemented in the project to conserve a rural tea estate with an abandoned tea factory following ecological and socio-cultural concepts. The co-living community hub in Ohia consists of 3 components: an upcycled tea factory, tourist facility center with 30 chalets, areas of existing line houses that redesigned and retrofitted with homestay facilities. The design of the building is inspired by the line houses seen in estates. Some spatial principles followed in the design have also been derived using the existing line houses. The main entrance to the facility is through an entrance square that leads to the tourism facility center. The design provides strong visual connection into interior regions of the design due to narrow open floor plan design and porous external envelope. Tourism Facility Center is linked to the abandoned tea factory by a cultural gallery, which is a transition building. It facilitates a smooth transition and showcases the revolution and culture of hidden estate community. The existing abandoned tea factory is upcycled into a carefully designed tea manufacturing and promoting unit. This provides visitors a museum-like experience and a safe sound working environment for the estate workers. The feature app enables to provide a unique experience of the tea production from tea plucking, processing, packing, and testing the final product at a tea restaurant. Projected boxes are included in the design to facilitate these additional spaces. The site also contains an existing Hindu shrine. This is the central design element across which public spaces are connected to each other via physical and visual links. The site also contains a demonstration space where a market will take place twice a week. It can also be used as place for performances, pongal activities, etc. It can also be used by the community to engage in arts and craft and as a space for learning activities such as cookery classes for tourists and language classes for the community people. 30 chalets are present and is the second purpose of the spatial provision. The cluster of chalets are carefully oriented to capture the best internal and external views of the context and provides the lighthouse experience through its design. This can be considered as the anticlimax of the spatial progression. Complementary components such as medicinal sauna and herbal spa is also included in this scheme. Last but not least, a selected area of existing lighthouses currently occupied by some of the estate Tamils is redesigned and retrofitted with homestay facilities for the visitors. This will be an additional income source to the community. Spatial provision of the scheme is derived from not only from the functionality of the spaces within, but also the contoured terrain and the picturesque views. The project can form the basis for improvement of all tea estate plantations. Therefore, by emulating this concept in other areas, the tea industry will undergo an overall upliftment. This would improve export income from tea and increase country's GDP, and most importantly, improve the lives of tea estate community by improving their socio-economic status and their standards of living. Slide shows the color usage of the project. Vibrant colors have been used in the design to showcase the culture of estate Tamils. It gives the unique identity to the spaces and to the project as a whole. Simple colors as black, dark brown, and gray shades balances the rusticness of the interior spaces and helps create the required ambience. This slide shows the sustainability practices that have been incorporated in the project. Sustainability approaches and sustainable concept for services have been used throughout the process of designing, construction, and maintenance. The project incorporates sustainable practices, components such as solar power generation, rainwater harvesting, a biomass gasifier, and a biogas plant. The energy generated is also provided for the consumption of the community. The project is also designed with energy-saving practices to minimize the wastage of water and electricity, etc. The design uses locally sourced materials whenever possible. Materials such as microtimber, bamboo, cane, lath and plaster walls, and rubber have been used. Reused materials such as doors and windows from existing lighthouses have been used for decorative purposes and helps to showcase the estate workers' hidden struggle. Used tires and barrels have been used to build retaining walls, and railway sleepers have been used for decks. The design has been achieved through minimum damage to its existing terrain. The site is divided into different segments, identifying both the natural condition of each area and this proposed activity, and has been treated accordingly. Both soft and hard landscaping is done to merge the man-made landscape with the natural context seamlessly. The project has achieved environmental sustainability throughout all phases of the project process. The design has been done in complementing the existing terrain and by following necessary guidelines, while also enhancing the natural environment. Building construction and operation has been done with minimum energy consumption and with the usage of eco-friendly materials. The abandoned tea factory, which could have been a negative impact to the surrounding, is renovated and reused. Drainage systems have been introduced to control flowing water on the surface and has been harvested accordingly. Sewage, kitchen waste, and waste from animal husbandry farms have been directed to biogas plant. By integrating these concepts of this pilot project in other areas, the tea industry will undergo an overall upliftment. This would translate to an increase in export income and thereby help increase the country's GDP. This project is also an architectural attempt to uplift the socio-economic and standards of living of upcountry estate tenants through the provision of facilities that they are lacking at the present. Consequently, this helps to create community empowerment, which ultimately is a social investment. Self-sustainable rural villages merged with tourism is seen as one of the most promising sectors for the development of domestic tourism in the Asian context. The pandemic has highlighted the ease at which disease spreads in densely populated areas across the globe. Potential food and supply shortages and travel restriction due to the pandemic have most people considering a shift to a self-sufficient lifestyle. Therefore, self-sufficient villages can be seen to be safer and sustainable in the long run due to the ease to the spread of disease can be controlled and ease of management and distribution of resources. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Ironi, for your presentation.